every relationship, there's a good and the bad. If you want a relationship to work, whether that's in your personal or professional life, you'll hope there's more good than bad, of course.
No doubt. Well, now there appears to be a magical number when it comes to the good versus bad. We're going to explain this. UAB psychologists Dr. Josh Klapow and Tony Kurre join us now this morning to talk about what's called the 5-to-1 ratio.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so in a nutshell, what is that?
So this is based on almost 4 decades of research from a psychologist named John Gottman. And so the data is just, it's so crystal clear. What he has found is that for every 1 negative interaction that you have in your relationship, you need to have at least 5 positive ones to offset it, or the probability of getting divorced or a breakup goes up, they call significantly, but about 10-fold. So it's, and the reason I think the data is important is this is not just somebody, making an assumption about it. There are numbers that actually predict this.
It sounds like it's kind of like if you're sick and you don't get medicine to make you better, you will get sicker. So the relationship gets sicker the more bad goes on, of course, in the relationship.
Absolutely, and one of the things we were saying before the break, this is not, he and I were kidding about, this is not say 5 nice things and you're good to go for the rest of the day. These are things that are deeper than just complimenting. These are things like allowing your spouse to, or your significant other to influence your decision making, to lighten things up during an argument. So psychologically, it's not just say nice things and everything's going to be okay. And a lot of us in relationships forget this, particularly if we're kind of getting into a slump, into a bad way. We tend not to give those positive interactions.
When it makes you realize just how important it is, first of all, to be positive in a relationship, but also just how much the negative stuff means. Because for the most part, I think we try to even things out. I do something nice, I do something bad. I do something bad, I do something nice.
Yeah.
We're talking 5-to-1 ratio. 5-to-1.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're asking just as a start for a week, try to journal it and actually do it. I could bet right now that most people watching right now don't go 5-to-1.
Yeah.
And if they're trying to go 5-to-1, I'm not sure how that looks in the relationship, because it looks like there's probably a lot of BS there behind trying to do nice things.
Yes.
Like instead of hiding the coffee.
It's like being married. It's like being married to Stuart Smalley.
But what they say always takes, it says it takes more muscles to make a frown than it does a smile.
Well, that was good.
This is kind of like one of the situations where you realize just how bad something bad can actually be.
Well, I don't know, you may agree with this. We can get 99 wonderful comments and
That
get
one
one
is
bad
the one
one,
that
and
sticks
that
with you.
one
Yeah.
is what lives with
Negative.
you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So same thing in a relationship.
It is, and I think the thing that we forget is we tend to do the positive after there's a negative. It's almost like you said, like kind of like a makeup, apologizing, etc. And those are fine. You need to do that. But you have to start thinking about your relationship as moments. We talk about moments of connection. So things like being polite, things like, again, expressing appreciation, accepting their perspective, apologizing, and forgiving. So again, these are things that are not just compliments. And the reason I say that over and over again is a lot of folks will say, well, as long as I just give the compliments, I'm good to go. No, this is a much deeper relationship issue. And if you do these things, your relationship is more likely to last a longer time. And if you don't, as I said, your relationship is at risk.
When you mentioned writing it down, though, how much does that help? Because I think, especially people who are in relationships, but not for very long, they may see a couple of negative things as a deal breaker, and that's not the way we should approach things.
We always say, think it, write it, act it.
Yeah.
You think it first, then you write it down, then you're going to act it out. And so that's part, and you're the psychologist here, but I've learned that from him. It's so important to write it down when you're doing it.
And to your point, it's really good in an early relationship because the negatives sting so much. If you're actually keeping track of how many positives, you can actually sit down together and go, hey, look, we had a couple, this week was not so great. There's a couple, but look at our ratio. It's close to 5-to-1. And if you do that, absolutely, it's going to work.
I like to get nice text messages from my husband while I'm at work.
Exactly.
Just something simple.
And that's what I said, appreciation. It doesn't have to be just a compliment. You do that, and as John Gottman has found, your relationship's going to be good. You don't, and you're going to be in trouble.
We appreciate you too.
Thank you. We
You're the
appreciate you
10-to-1
all.
ratio for us.
You guys are so nice.
Love all of you.
Great.
Look, 10 to
We
1
love
for you guys. How's that?
Yes.
10 to 1,
We love
15 to
each
1.
other. It's great.
We're going to keep this during the break. Keep it going. We'll be right back.
And we love y'all too.